With the final month of Season 3 came Lancia, and man, did they not disappoint at all. We have a huge shakeup in the rally category, and if you didn't catch my videos last week, I'm officially crowning a new rally king. Let's go! Before we get into this, the Militia Gaming community on Discord is over 16,000 players strong. If you're looking for a community of people to race with, you can definitely go and join our Discord. There's a link in the description. Head there, and we are definitely looking for moderators and staff members. So if any of you guys have been in the server for a while and you want to maybe become a staff member, help out with the community, you are welcome to put in an application. And if you're new to the community, welcome, and please don't hesitate to send me a DM or ping. All right, let's get into it. 5 Lancia cars have been added to the game. 4 of them are in the rally category and 1 of them in the Street 1 category. Let's talk about the Street 1 Lancia Stratos HF Stradale first. I've got a full video on this car if you'd like to check that out. You can tap on the top right corner of the screen now, but starting with its strengths. Number 1, its handling. The car handles basically everything with ease. Understeer is rarely a problem unless you enter the corner with too much speed, but that really falls on the driver, not the car. Its acceleration is also a big strength. It accelerates way better than most cars in Street 1, which is super helpful in grand races because we all know how rough those starts are. I highly recommend this if ST1 is the first category in your grand race. Its weaknesses are number 1, top speed. It holds speed in the high 190s when in slip or using NOS, but the top cars in the class can actually reach 200 miles per hour, and they can stay there with a slipstream and or NOS, so it really doesn't quite keep up with those guys. What that means is if you have a couple of RS2 Avants slipstreaming each other at the front, they can and will drop you on those high-speed highway sections. And number 2, it's guttering. The car really doesn't gutter all that well, and it's not like the worst, but it is quite easy to drive right through a gutter if you're not careful. It doesn't hook into the gutter like other cars do, particularly that Audi RS2. Now in the meta conversation, I've got this car sitting at 3rd, right behind that RS2 and the Porsche 911 RS. Let's move on to the rally cars. Starting with the Stratos HF GR4, its test time on Get Dirt On It of 2:17.448 ranks 5th overall, but it's not the easiest car to drive. It doesn't quite have the traction needed to keep the rear wheels from spinning in semi-tight corners. Its strengths are NOS power and acceleration, but its cornering weaknesses make it so that the car just really can't compete with those top dogs. Next, we've got the Rally 037. Now this is probably my favorite looking car out of these 4 rally cars. I prefer a coupe over a hatchback most of the time, so this would be my IRL choice if money wasn't a factor, but its test time lands it in the 4th position overall in the rally category, and it basically has the same issues as that Stratos has. It's got good acceleration, it's got good NOS power, but it's got lackluster handling. Now it can be driven fast, however the driver needs to be slightly more skilled than average in order to do so. In terms of the meta conversation, I've got this thing listed as a contender, meaning that if it's driven properly, it can be used to expose any mistakes that the meta car drivers make. It's definitely fast enough to hang on to a pack of C3s or Peugeots, but it's not going to be the thing that lets you drive away from them. Next, I've got the Delta S4 Hoodlum Racing Edition car. I also did a full video on this car as well if you're interested in seeing how this car does in a grand race scenario. There'll be a link in the description as well. The biggest strength is its NOS power. The car is crazy fast. It handles okay, but it will take some getting used to as it does have a lot of throttle steer. Sharper corners need to be drifted rather than gripped, or throttle control must be exercised precisely, or you're gonna lose the back end very easily. If you can control the car, it is one of the fastest cars in the class without a doubt. In terms of the meta conversation, I've listed it as the top dog in the contender class, which means it's right below those top 3. It's significantly faster than the Rally 037 and the Countryman in the right scenarios. Lastly, the new king of rally, the Delta S4. It is just about everything you want in the rally department, but mostly it's completely gripped to the dirt, which helps in all kinds of scenarios. Its NOS power is the best in class, and it has a ridiculous top speed in the 190s. The only thing I can point to as a negative is that it can be tough to break traction in corners where drifting is really the optimal way to take the corner. You basically have to plan for those types of corners by using NOS and the handbrake, or using weight transfer of the car. Now, if you're on direct mode, flicking the car should be the easiest way to get it to slide, but I'm not a person who uses direct mode, so maybe someone can fill me in the comments. As I've said before, this is the top dog in the meta conversation. I've got it listed just above the Peugeot 205 and the C3. That being said, you still need to be realistic with your expectations. This car itself will not win you the race over the C3 or the Peugeot. Your driving is still a bigger factor because the gap between these three cars is very, very small. Anyways, here are all the tunes for the Lancia brand, and if you have any questions about anything, you can please send me a DM on Discord or Instagram. I check every single message, I read every single message, and I reply to every single message unless it's like a link to something stupid or, you know, you're just sending me random reels. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. I'll catch you on the next one. Trigger out.